And welcome back one and all. My name is Eltimar and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of Torment, Tides of Numenera. Where we left off last time, we were going through all of the tombs. So, next tomb on our list is one we got actually in the Valley of the Dead. It is Phoenix's tomb. 15355. When the fourth hexagon illuminates, yeah, we get sent off to the next one. We don't actually need to read those parts. Did anybody level? Rin leveled. We should probably level Rin up. We can get effort, skill, or stat pools. Let's go skill. She can get better at running, perception, or lore. Let's go with perception. Lore. Or just stats. No. You know what? Perception. Okay, there's a weird face here.
Yes.
Like that is a creepy face.
Making a note.
This nearly human face has been sculpted to look like it is emerging from the stone floor. As you draw near, the mouth suddenly begins to move and speaks in an unfamiliar tongue. You feel a light touch across your mind. The face continues speaking, adjusting pitch and vibration of its words as it zeroes in on a shared language. The jumble of noise becomes a recognizable speech quickly, and the face becomes more human. You recognize the face. It is that of Phoenix, the enigmatic man in the valley. The voice is surprisingly pleasant and warm. I am Phoenix, seeker of knowledge, lover of wisdom, questioner of the truth. I have found ways to bend space and fold reality, but it was not enough to keep death from my door. If you are hearing this message, I am missing a part of my consciousness. I have communicated with it and feel its presence nearby, but it does not return. The voice fades, taking with it the memory of the language it spoke. So we probably have to go back and get Silver to come. Let's tell Phoenix we found his tomb. I guess we have to go do that quickly. Boop. We're pressing the center one. It takes us back to the beginning, obviously.
If you're sure it's safe.
I'm pretty sure it's safe. Let's go talk to Phoenix, tell him that his tomb requires his presence. And then we'll go find the next tomb on their tomb list of tombs. Best way to reach him? Probably this one, actually. It's not the ideal placement, but it's probably the closest one we have to Phoenix. Because that one leads to here. It's quite a long walk. Maybe it's not that long. I don't know which one's faster. Hello, Phoenix. Oh, you're back. He seems slightly surprised. I found your marker in the necropolis. The note contains a code to your tomb. He takes the note from you, scrutinizing it intently. He shimmers and flickers momentarily, then exerts himself to remain material through a force of invisible will. That would explain why I have not been able to understand myself. An artificial construct in my mind. I am dead and manifest again. Have I mastered time? He takes an internal inventory. No. I am a particular shade, a remnant, an echo of what I could have been. I shall fade and hope that my lesson remains. I thank you. Knowledge is precious, treasure yours, and now I will rest. Farewell. With a flicker of light, the yawning of a consciousness roused and returning to oblivion, he flickers away into the air. A faint hiss is the only marker of his passage.
Let's go.
Anybody gain a level? Nobody gained a level. We'll go back through this portal because I don't know which one we're actually supposed to go to. Which one's actually faster? This one might be faster.
All right.
We are going to talk to Tantalum before we leave this area, of course. Once we've done all the other tombs, except for the first cast-offs one. It is the one we are not going to go into just yet. Because we have other things to do. So next one on our list is 2413. That is not the right one. Let's walk away.
Yes. Now.
2, 4, 1, 3. Gentle breezes control the flickering of your eyes towards an unpredictable places on the epitaph, and the patterns and purpose of the gusts becomes clear. They've been training your eyes to see, and suddenly the truth becomes clear in twisting, hovering glyphs. They are made of the wind, distortions in the air. They are an older version of the truth, but you can read them. Ronos Kaisul. Ronos Kaisul, the same name as the memorialist in the valley. More words begin to form, taking shape like clear smoke. Let's examine the archives. A whisper of wind tickles your ear. Protection of archives enabled. Speak the code and read freely. Display likenesses. A host of images appear, a series of pictures collected from a lifetime of handsome, driven men in various poses, as a baby learning to walk, as a child exploring the shell of some sort of crashed flying vessel, as a young man studiously dissecting a Numenera tool, as a father, as a widower. Through the course of years, his face grows more haggard and rugged, but he retains a youthful charm. He looks nothing like the Ronos Kasul you encountered outside in the valley. We should probably go talk to Mr. Kasul. Which is slightly annoying. I wish we could have just done that earlier, but that's okay. You know what? Not a big deal. We only have like 9 main tombs to go to.
Here I go.
Let's go find a Ronos Kasul. You guys are not Ronos Kasul? And neither is that dude. I don't even know who that guy is. He's just sort of like a... He doesn't even have a nameplate. He's not even a real NPC. He's just sort of environment background. Must suck to be that NPC. Not important enough to have a nameplate. Where's Ronos Kasul? Kolo, Natalie, Persia. Not you. Blob of 3. Oh, he's that guy there. Okay, this one is definitely closer to where we want to go.
Here I go.
Pew. Aw, that teleportation though.
Won't notice I'm gone.
Ronos Kasul, you are dead, so why don't you explain how you're alive? Do you know anything about a dead girl named Choi? No, I've never heard the name. Tell me about yourself again. Okay, maybe we're not supposed to go in his tomb yet. Alright, there are other tombs. Maybe we have to come back to him later to finish a quest. That severed child quest.
Yes.
Our next one is going to be 3543.
At last. I'm ready.
Uh, 3, 5, 4, 3. Pew.
All right.
Yet another strange one. Intricate etchings cover this carved head, with the most prominent being 8 concentric channels centered on the brow. A small porcelain bead on each channel is attached to loose metal strings of varying thickness. The strings run down the bridge of the nose and emerge from the open mouth at even intervals, reaching down to the floor. It reminds you of a large stringed instrument, and although you have no idea how to play it. Examine the carvings. The carvings were not made by human hands. They curl and flow in an alien script, and lights glimmer from within them. Staring at them induces a mental fog, the feeling that your mind is being pulled away in some astronomically distant maze, but when you blink you snap back to reality. You feel nausea coming on. Keep going. Again they bewitch you, drawing your mind away from your body, and again the spell is broken when you close your eyes. Let's look at the strings. Each of the 8 strings is fully transparent, of varying thickness, and is made of shimmering light, coherent but gentle. When you touch them, they make terrible noises, as if of shattering glass, crunching metal, screaming, and exotic animals. The head of each string is attached to a small bead on one of the 8 concentric circles. Let's do the bead. Each bead is made of a different metal, machined in exquisite detail. A tiny indentation on the bead fastens onto the string. A beam of coherent light, a small bridge anchors the bead to a partner in the neighboring channel. The beads are loose in their channels, so if you push on one, the other moves in tandem. Upon closer examination, it is revealed that closer examination reveals 4 slight declivities in the shape of an X in the channels. If you move the beads into these spots, you might be able to lock the strings into place. We get an automatic 100% on that, so good. You slide the bead bridges into the deeper indentations and they click audibly into place. Each of the strings shifts slightly in the visible spectrum, and the jangling, terrible noise the strings produce has changed to a pleasant hum. Each of the 8 strings is now in harmony with the others. Let's play something. You stroke your fingers across the strings and the lights appear above the instrument. A strange interplay of colors flicker, not quite in time with the tune you play, but while image is almost resolved, none quite cohere. You develop a headache and your mouth fills inexplicably with the taste of sand. Beads again, strings again, head carving again. Play another melody. I'm gonna keep playing. Maybe we suck at beads. I guess that's it. We got a little bit of experience for it. I wonder what it is. Maybe we lack the skill to play an instrument properly. We might have to come back here, but let's do the other ones. I have more codes that I already know. Oops. 4, 1, 3, 5.
All right.
Oh, we already went here. This is the... Right, we already did this one. This is the Najma one. Sorry, there's only 8 unique ones then. I wrote the same one down twice for some reason. Okay, this next one is important. So I'm going to say this one slowly so you guys know what it is. 4, 2, 2, 1. This is for the quest, the Severed Child quest.
Why, of course.
As you touch the engravings on the pillar, you feel stirrings of air push your eyes towards the imperfections on the wall, as they did with Ronos' tomb. Unlike that tomb, however, you cannot make sense of anything you see. Let's allow the wind to do it. The gentle breeze pushes your eyes one way and another, but there seems to be no pattern or reason to it. It's probably crazy to think the wind is doing anything purposeful.
Doing begets learning.
Maybe we're not supposed to be here yet. Man, this quest is confusing.
Yes. Now.
Also, it's a weird looking pillar.
To action.
Alright,
Yes.
we're moving on then. 1, 2, 5, 4 is our next one. We will find what we're supposed to do with that. Hello guys. More souls to release, gibbers unintelligibly. Blah, blah, blah. You can see the whites all around this man's eyes. His face is frozen in a rictus of frenzy. Can you feel it? The power of the endless gate, it calls to us. It's time. Time for what? Power, glory, ecstasy! He says to something behind your head. You're not sure whether he actually heard you at all. Before he can utter another word, the man's spine goes taut. His expression becomes that of a towel being savagely wrung out, but his voice stays drenched in childish glee. They call us now. Join us. The masters beckon. Oh god. Are they dying? They're just running right in. Where the blood does not obscure it, vaguely humanoid shadows lie within these pools.
Ready.
What's this thing do? An obscene quantity of blood adorns the floor and walls of this tomb. Messages in a bastardized form of the truth are traced on the bloody walls. The cultists who have overrun the valley seem to have a special affinity for the occupant of this pod. But try as you might, you cannot find anything useful here, and you back away with no fresh insight. Any name? Nope. Okay, so we have the portal. I'm gonna quick save. I might try and jump in, actually. Cloying invisible fingers tug at your skin. They're drawing you into the portal, eager for the light that flows through your body, eager to keep you there. You have a bad feeling that once you step through this gate, there'll be no way out, except to find the one that opened it. We'll come back to this one. I have one more I want to go to quickly first. We're going to go to 5, 1, 4, 3. We'll come back to this one right away. And we'll go into that weird portal thing.
All right, Ren, you can do this.
As you poke through the supplies, Old Wall howls. Do I put my fingers in your brain? Leave it alone, now. Okay. Sorry. He breathes a sigh of relief. Gratitude is hard to find here. I would hate for you to have stolen mine. What can you tell me about yourself? Why, my friend, I am Oddwald. Oddwald the sane, Oddwald the magnificent, Oddwald the true seer and keeper of the past. The one who knows, the one who remembers, the one who hides, and the one who laughs. He pushes some of his goo-goos around on the floor, creating an intricate pattern, or perhaps just a mess. They said I was mad, Carcurus, my mind a melted machine. But when did they come in to see? I did not open the eyes to let them taste the colors of my thoughts, but they swept the knowledge into me and out of me, and all that's left is dust. He drums in a rhythmic pattern on the dust of the tomb's floor. After a moment, he scatters his assembled junk with a swipe of one hand. The pieces fly randomly, but each lands during one of the beats, and they land in a straight line. He gathers the pieces, insight, foreknowledge, intuition, a predator's mind trapped in the prey's body. See the puzzle fit together? Find the nearest bolt hole. What do you do in here? Doing? All the myriad delights of life lie before me, breathing, heart beating, observing, digesting, expressing, micturating, pontificating, answering, ruminating. It's a good time to be alive. To be alive, I think. He shoves a piece of his junk. Say I am discovering myself in the world and the hidden parts of the universe. Listen, these tombs, I know them. They sing to me. They're new children, the children and their gate, I know them. I even know the fearful Inifear. They are not secrets, though they are secretive. Look around you. You see the walls, I see the history, the past, the future, the potential. I line up probabilities, and then I push them around until they are true. And when I understand the patterns, I retain the patterns. So what am I doing here? Learning. He gathers his junk up again. What can you tell me about the children of the Endless Gate? He lowers his head and smiles. They know me, I know of them. And when they come with ill intent, and when they come as friends, I greet them warmly and keep an open otherwhere at my back. When they come as enemies, they cannot find me. These doors to other worlds, I have opened them. One brought me here, one opened my mind and spilled my thoughts out, one taught me to put my thoughts back in. He hefts a handful of small bones. You don't know where he found them. He casts them on the floor and laughs to himself and scoops them back up. So strange to think of a mind as a place to store thoughts, only by custom, only by memory. Much better to find a place for your thoughts in the world. He pauses and thinks, of course, then you have to worry about somebody stealing your thoughts. Can you tell me anything useful about the children of the gate? He frowns. Theirs is a door that might be best closed, but the opening comes unless... He shrugs, but none close it. Your brothers see but don't act. They speak but never listen. The opening isn't opening. I have places to go, places to hide. Those there, here, they're stuck in one perception. What do you know about Inifear? Who knows a sibling better than a brother? Who has forgotten the face of his father but remembered his acts? Who has seen a broken mind turned into a vengeful thing? He has no taste for blood, nor for flesh, but his children bring him these morsels anyways. They do not heed his advice. They call him Lord, but he is their slave. Poor Inifear, a life misremembered, misinterpreted. He regards his junk pile, a life wasted in fear. Anything else? He does not hunger for blood. He hides because of his... He pauses and looks through the bits scattered in front of him. Sorrow. Don't be like him. Do not hide. Okay. I'm going to poke through his junk. How do you plan on stopping me? Through words and suition. I hope it won't come to violence. My fragile bones aren't good for that. I took an esoteric mirror caster. You, he sputters, and then realizes that he's getting dangerously close to you. He yelps, grabs a handful of his junk, and disappears from the room. You're not quite sure how he left. He didn't take everything, though. You find an oddly shaped item among what's left. What is an electrostatic mirror caster? I feel bad about that one, but I wanted it. We're gonna look at that momentarily, but I'll be right back.
At last.
Okay, I'm going to retcon a little bit. We did not take Oddwald's device. I actually talked to him again. A frail human creature with olive skin, clad in rags, wrapped around his waist, rummages around aimlessly, fidgeting with elongated hands, scattered in frizzy dark strands. On his scalp appear to be hair. As you approach, he rears his head, revealing large yellowed eyes, with tiny black dots that stare back at you gleefully. His smile, wide for a creature of his size, shows a perfect set of teeth, and his head moves inquisitively from side to side. We have to ask him about Choi. You stand in Oddwald's mind, he proclaims. Do you know anything about a girl named Choi? I think she might be interred here. Ah, Choi. Choi in joyful repose, a chin in thought, full of toes. Though the toes are mostly missing, snatched away by wind, like the light in her eyes. He hums a snatch of a popular song, and immediately mangles it. What was it? Ah, yes, it was... No. He hums the tune again in a distant way. Yes, that's it. 4, 2, 2, 1. But remember, he says, dancing from one foot to another, if you want to learn anything, you must hold your breath.
All right.
That's what we were looking for. I knew there was something about the quest around here, but I couldn't remember what it was. What did I press? Where am I going? I didn't press anything.
I'm going.
That was weird. 4, 2, 2, 1. So here we go. We're gonna find out how to do this quest. The severed child.
going.
Holding our breath is what we have to do. Allow the wind to
Making a
guide
note.
our eyes. Remembering what we were told, you hold your breath. The gentle breezes control the flickering of your eyes towards unpredictable places on the wall, and the patterns and purposes of the gusts quickly become clear. They've been training your eyes to see, and suddenly the truth comes clear in twisting letters made from distortions in the air itself. They're an older version of the truth, but you can read them. It's an epitaph, and it bears the name Choi Kasul. Kasul, that was the surname of the memorialist you met when you entered the valley, Ronos Kasul. The wind has not stopped. Its subtle pressures are trying to guide you to new patterns. Let's follow it. Words appear in the air, shivered into being by one of the subtle gusts, and you read the tale. Come you now to the tomb of Choi Kasul. It stands empty, for her body is gone, wrested away by the foul children to feed their endless gate and its infernal master. We raise this marker to commemorate the life of our beloved, to swear undying vengeance upon the man who stole her from us. Choi Kasul, your name will live forever. The shapes hover in the air for a moment longer, and then the air ceases its restless flight. The letters disappear instantly, and all that remains is the sound of your breathing. Anything else? Nothing. Okay. Now what is the next thing? Revisit Ronos Kaisul's marker. Good thing I wrote that one down.
All right.
It's 2413. Can I just do this? Yes. And we're off. Back into the depths of this place.
All right.
I like these cool face mask things. Look really neat. You remember the words of Choi's marker, your name will live forever, and so you whisper that name, Choi. It works. Reams of potential information begin spilling in the air, hidden behind these words. History of Ronos Kaisul, experiments, bequeathed genealogy. Let's go with history first. Lighted images appear on the currents of air, subtly distorted, and they show the progression of Ronos Kaisul's life. A voice, slightly modulated through the wind, speaks. Ronos Kaisul was born Ronos Genbin, an only child in a successful merchant family of Sagitt's Cliffs. His parents sought for him a position within the bureaucracy. He showed an early aptitude for gentlemanly pursuits of governing, weaponcraft, and poisons. His interests took him elsewhere. He became fascinated with the secrets of the ancients and experimented with their lost knowledge. Under the tutelage of the Aeon priests, as one of their number, he sought the secrets of life and established himself in the field of medicine, focusing particularly on those damaged by the Numenera. He married Rinda Kaisul, taking her name for himself and their family. They had a daughter named Choi. She was the new center of Ronos' life until the children of the Endless Gate abducted and murdered her. Ronos vowed to avenge Choi's death and destroy the cult. This vendetta consumed him. Options now include a return to the main tree, where you can hear and read about his experiments, or you can continue with Ronos Kaisul's vendetta against the children of the Endless Gate. Let's continue. With the loss of his daughter, Kaisul resigned from the Aeon priests and turned his full attention on destroying the cult. By then, they had moved on, leaving him with no object for his revenge. The voice flatly notes Rinda Kaisul took her own life. Ronos redoubled his efforts, sold all that he possessed, and devoted himself to finding the children. In time, he hired an explorer named Marquisa to persist in this pursuit. There was a pause. Neither returned. Years after disappearing, Kaisul sent a letter to his oldest mentor. The voice quaked slightly. In it, Kaisul explained that he had found the children and the leader, Inifir. He wrote, Inifir and the others are victims, not monsters. They are prisoners of pain, and Inifir is a slave to dark masters beyond our plane. Rather than seek vengeance, I will endeavor to set them free.
Making a note.
Some months later, Kaisul's body was transmitted to that mentor as well, and many years after that, the body of his guide, Marquisa, was deposited in the Valley of Dead Heroes. Thus ends the story of Ronos Kaisul. Entombed herein, his wife Rinda Kaisul is interred in her family's ossuary in Sagitt's Cliffs. The marker of his daughter, Choi Kaisul, can be found at 224-221. Marquisa's tomb lies at 1254. Experiments. Experiments included vivisection and necrosection on a variety of creatures across the Protectorate's biome. These led to investigations into cross-dimensional manifestations and psychoses, a field of study Kaisul abandoned upon the death of his daughter. Bequeaths? A subdued male voice speaks. While scholar Kaisul liquidated the overwhelming majority of his estate shortly before his disappearance, certain family trusts and ongoing honoraria and royalties remained. These were assigned to the Aeon priests of Sagitt's Cliffs until confirmation of Kaisul's death. At that time, his remaining properties sheeted to the city. A list of financial instruments and revenue sources scrolls across the screen. Genealogy. A voice of indeterminate gender reports scholar Kaisul Nijevin conducted an extensive research into his background. He has uncovered trace evidence that he is distantly related to the slave families, though further research suggests that this particular branch was excised 150 years prior to his birth. He married Rinda Kaisul, and they produced one daughter named Choi. She perished, and with her passing, both the Kaisul and Genvin lines vanished. Grim. Alright, we're off.
Let's go.
Now we're going back to that 1254 area. 1, 2... I guess I could have probably gone to that thing, but whatever. To the places we've already been. And this is how we were supposed to get here. So we're going now into this thing, because the Severed Child quest, I think Lee's is in there, doesn't it? Learn more about Marquisa.
All right.
I guess we can try. Look more closely at the children's writing. Incomprehensible scratches and scrawls, all of them, and you can't make sense of it, yet somehow they fill you with a vague and nameless horror. Amidst the bloody rents and paeans, you find a symbol carved into the stone itself. You recognize it as the sigil of the Children of the Endless Gate, surrounded by scrawls to an unnameable and alien god. Touch the symbol. As you reach out to touch the symbol, a spark flares from it, and you feel your tattoo blazing in sympathy. The rock under the symbol evaporates, as if it were transmuting itself into another dimension, revealing a large niche.
Making a note.
Within it is a thing of strange dimensions and impossible angles, spun from an unearthly metal that seems to flow as you examine it. Its branching limbs cross in a lattice that holds no clear pattern. Tidal energy seep from it, and you recognize the sigil of the changing god stamped on its base. What else it might be? This is a mirror caster, but not one you can use, at least not now. Someone has twisted it out of alignment. It would be impossible, guesswork, to return it to its proper state. One sec. Well, that was certainly odd. That was a call from Illinois, but they hung up like instantly, so I have no idea what that was all about. Okay. So we need to return it to its proper gate. Try and read the name again. You cannot read the name, for it is obscured by splatters of blood smeared by the venerating touch of countless passing cultists. Still, you're fairly certain this is the tomb of Marquisa, whose proximity to Inifir must be what inspired this display of, you'd dare call it devotion? But it's certainly effusive. Alright, we're going to go in the portal now, and then we're going to end the video. I just want to see what it looks like inside first. We're going to do another one right after this anyways, and that I think will be the last video for the day, but we'll see.
I'll remember that.
Here we go. The cloying fingers release you, perhaps knowing there's nowhere for you to go. You are within the endless gate now. You are theirs. The air is chill and moist. Screams of agony permeate the darkness around you, and you sense something watching. There's no choice but to venture forth. We're going to save here, and actually we're going to just quickly check to make sure we didn't fail any quests. Okay, no. Convince them to close the gate. Okay. No quests failed. Excellent. Alright. Oops. I hit a button. I will be back in a few moments. Like always, if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.